Hello and welcome to the Hospital Rooms Digital Art School. You're about to watch an exploring imagery workshop with artist Louis Caseley. You'll find all the materials you'll need for this workshop listed at the bottom of the screen, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Enjoy the workshop.
Hello, my name's Louis. I'm from the Hospital Rooms team and an artist myself. Normally I'm working on mental health units, running art workshops and working with artists and service users to create the artworks for the units too. Today I'm going to be running a workshop a bit to do with my own practice and how I think about making images or artworks. So I'm quite interested in how we all relate to images and things in different ways and similar ways. So any kind of picture you look at, everyone will look at in a different way depending on their own experience in life. Some things we might look at similarly depending on where we're from or how old we are, but some things we might look at differently. So I'll go through the materials we've got today and then explain what we're going to be doing. So I've printed out all these images, which you should have with you in an image pack, but also you can see them on the screen here. So they're just images I found, which I think everyone can relate to in some way. So most people probably know what the pyramids are. They might make you think of being hot, or they might make you think of a history lesson. We've got things like a blanket, bubbles, so all things which hopefully you can relate to in some way. And we're going to be drawing from them. Today I'm using pencils and watercolours to make the colour. And I've got paintbrushes and a bit of water and a bit of tissue here just to dry up my brushes if I need to do that. But if you've got other materials like colouring pencils or crayons, that's fine too, whatever you like using. And I've got this list of words I've printed off, which I think are things that I might want to look for in an artwork that I might be putting in a space. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose some of these words and see which ones, which images out of these relate to the words for us, and then we're going to make an artwork based on that. So I'm just going to choose 3 of these words which I like the idea of feeling. So I like the idea of feeling warm, so I'm going to just circle warm. I like the idea of when I look at something, it making me feel reflective, so I'm going to choose reflective, and I'm going to choose where you'd like to be. So if you'd like to do these same words I've chosen, that's great, or if you want to choose some different ones, that's totally fine too. So now I'm going to look at the images I've got in front of me and think about which one makes me feel warm. So it could be something like the lava lamp, I guess it's quite hot. But I'm thinking more kind of warmth of like comfort. So maybe it's going to be the blanket. So for warm, I'm going to think about the blanket. And then I'm going to think about which image makes me feel reflective. For me, I think that's going to be the space image, because thinking about space makes me think about how small we are and how big the universe is. And then I'm going to think about where I'd like to be. And I think it's a bit of a grey day today. I wouldn't mind being in the sunshine, and I wouldn't mind being in a pool, maybe on a water slide, having fun. So I'm going to go for water slide. So first off, I'm just going to draw what I kind of draw from those images. It doesn't have to be exactly a drawing of what you see, but drawing the things from the images that you think are interesting. So I think with the blanket, I quite like the tartan texture most. So I'm going to just kind of draw the vague shape of it. It doesn't have to be very accurate, and it's kind of got the folds around the bottom. And I'm going to grab my watercolours to get the kind of red and green check on it. So I'll just get a bit of red and draw some lines. Again, it doesn't have to be too accurate or neat. It's not about it being a perfect drawing. It's about ideas. think that's enough detail to get the idea of the blanket for me. Next, it was reflective and space. So looking at that, I'm seeing all the little stars, different colours. I'm going to add a little bit more detail, so I'm going to sort of draw a few little circles which can represent stars or planets. Maybe some of them have a bit more of a glow around them, so I'll do a kind of more starry shape. Some of them look a bit like nebula, so I'm going to sort of draw nebulary shapes. It doesn't really matter that it might not look completely like space, but it gets the idea for me. And I think with the colour with that, it'd be nice to have that kind of blackness of space. So and again, it just only has to be messy, it's getting the ideas down now. I've overlapped that a little bit, but that's okay. The kind of pops of colour. So in this picture of space, it's kind of really picked up the colours of the different planets. I know we got some kind of big red star going on here, or okay, and then where you'd like to be. So I've said that I want to be at the water park, zooming down a water slide. What I like about this visually as well is the kind of all the spirals. So again, it doesn't have to be too accurate of what you can actually see in front of you, but if you think about how you can represent the spirals, just something like that I think is good enough. Gets the idea across for me. And let's say that I'm doing the yellow one. So there we have our three different feelings through the three different images. And now what we're going to do is the final bit of the workshop is to bring all of those three together into one artwork. So I'm just going to cover up the writing a little bit, or I'll move it across, and I'm going to think about which aspect I like the most. So as I said, I think I quite like the tartan for the blanket. That's kind of reminds me of the comfort of it. It kind of puts it across. I really like the shape of this big spiral of the slide, so maybe that's a big shape to focus on, and maybe the stars can then be the background. So I'm going to start with this big shape. Maybe even a bit more wiggly this time. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint, I think I'm going to paint the slide yellow and then do the stripes over the top. Just going to get the colours in on those stars and things. We'll have a couple of red ones this time. One more red one. A nice green star. I don't know if you really get green stars, but that's the space that I'm imagining. think because it's so thin, I'm not going to bother adding the green this time and just keep it with the red. I think it looks quite good like that. So all there really is to do now is to colour in the background, which I'm going to do quickly with the black paint. So there we have my tartan water slide in space. I'll just show it to you there. So that's what I've made. You might have made something similar or made something completely different and used different words and images which inspired you. But hopefully everyone's made a really fun image. My name's Louis and this has been my Hospital Rooms Digital Arts School. Thanks so much for joining.